Hello everyone, welcome back. And today we are going to be talking about 30-ish cars, tracks and features that I want to see returning for Gran Turismo 7. Now, obviously some cars have already been announced, as in the trailer that was launched and all that, but I want to go in today and I want to talk about cars that have a chance being added. Obviously you could just name 30 hypercars, they're never going to be added at all, ever. But I actually want to go in and to really talk about cars that I really think can be added in and will be added in for the new game. So without further ado, let's go and get into the video. So we're going to start off then with Ferrari and this thing, the Ferrari SF90 Stradale. Now you might be saying, yeah, well hold on, that thing was only launched this year. That is fair enough. Well, actually last year. But this is Ferrari's new flagship car. It was used in the Le Grand Rendezvous short film, which is basically this car driving around Monaco for about 5 minutes and driven by Charles Leclerc. So I think it's going to be added in. Nothing really more to say. Just yeah. Two other cars now is then this thing, the Ferrari GTC for Lusso, although maybe also the FF, the older generation, or this thing, the Portofino, or the California, which was actually dropped for Gran Turismo Sport. Moving on to McLaren next, and we have this thing, the McLaren 720 SGT3. Such an insane car, it looks like a missile, so I think that's a good chance. Also then we will add in the base spec, the 720S, because you know, why not? Pretty cool car, the fastest supercar in the world right now. Insane thing, yeah. We're also then going to drop this thing, the McLaren P1. We only have one of the holy trio of hypercars, which is the LaFerrari, so I think this thing is, well, not a shoe-in, but almost a shoe-in to get in. Moving on then to Mercedes, we have this thing, the Mercedes AMG Project 1. Basically, it is an F1 car, but put into a road car. Looks so insane. Mercedes' new flagship car, so yeah. We then have this thing as well. I mean, this is more of an experimental one, but the Mercedes G-Wagon. I mean, it would be pretty cool to have in. So why not Gran Turismo? Add it in. Moving on then next to Lamborghini, we have this thing, the Lamborghini Sian. I may be asking, why this thing? Well, it's the first Lamborghini hybrid, and it is, I believe, their new flagship model, so kind of similar to the Ferrari SF90, we'll have it in. Also, it is a Lego car, so I mean, if that thing doesn't convince the Gran Turismo devs, I don't know what will, really. Although this thing looks cool, I also think they might add in this thing. This is the Lamborghini Urus. Kind of a staple now, pretty popular with rich people, so yeah, I think it would be a brilliant addition to have in. Also, this thing, the Lamborghini Gallardo. I cannot believe we do not have a Lamborghini Gallardo in Gran Turismo Sport. I mean, a talk about staples for a car collection or a racing game. This thing needs to be added in to Gran Turismo. We already have the Murcielago, but the Gallardo is also equally as important. Moving on to BMW next, and we have the BMW M8 Competition. This thing is a supercar and a sports car, not very popular with people who are buying it, but I think this thing is incredible. To have it in the game for BMW, to salvage some sales, it would be quite good as well. We're going to be talking about then BMW and Toyota, because this is the exact same car, the Z4 and the Supra, well, the new Supra. Both equally cool cars. I don't really like any of them, but they are pretty cool, so I think it would be brilliant to have them in. Moving on then next to Audi, we have this thing, and I can't believe it isn't in Gran Turismo Sport. This is the 2018 second generation Audi R8. Pretty incredible car. Not a big fan of the little bit behind, on the bottom of the Audi sign, but I think it would be an incredible car to have in. We'll also then talk about this thing. This is the Audi RS5 or RS6 Avant, actually, the new one that was added in. I think we need a bit of diversity in the car list, and this will definitely bring it. And while we're talking about diversity, you know what? Why don't we bring in something pretty old, classic, and cool? This, the Audi Quattro. No, not the rally one, just the normal Quattro. It's something we have wanted for a very long time. I think it would be incredibly cool to have back in the game. even if we could do a few upgrades to it as well, like make it the rally car, upgrade it to like the rally car spec, and do like build versus bought or something like that, it would just be so, so cool. And then we have this thing, the the Chevrolet Corvette C8. Kind of has to be in there. It could even be a cover car for Gran Turismo. I don't particularly like it. It looks like a Ferrari. It's a rip-off, but I think it's going to be added in because it just is going to be. I just know it is. Now, next up, we have Ford and this thing, GTLM. Sorry, the Ford GTLM. We already have the base spec in it. I think Gran Turismo want to add in a few more GT3 cars, like they do every kind of race, or every game. So yeah, I think this thing would be a brilliant addition. We're also going to throw in this thing, the Shelby GT350R. I just think it's actually really cool. I don't like Ford Mustangs really, but this thing is quite a cool little thing. Again, is a staple of any real car collection or car list in a game. So yeah, I think, look, pretty cool car. Why not add it in? Also, I mean, AR12 has one, so you know it's cool. Then this thing, the Ford Focus RS. I do not know how this thing is not in, because it's in every racing game since 2016. It is a staple of any car list, and I cannot believe it hasn't been added in already. There. I don't like it, but I've said my piece. Then we have this thing. We're going to move on to Dodge and the Dodge Demon. I really hope Gran Turismo have a little bit of drag racing. I think that would be pretty cool. And this thing would be a perfect addition. The Dodge Challenger, or even the stock Dodge Challenger. I mean, it is a pretty cool car. So yeah, why not? Alright, so moving on now to Porsche, and we have this thing, the Porsche 918, the third of the final holy grail of hypercars. So, as like with the P1, it's a very well-known car. I can't believe it isn't in Gran Turismo already. Enough said and done. The second one's a little more interesting. We have this thing. This is the Porsche Panamera. Very, very good-looking car, especially from the back. The front hasn't really changed that much. Kind of like with the previous cars, just a really interesting thing. I think it might be a little bit different for Gran Turismo. Moving on to Alfa Romeo now, we have this thing, the Stelvio. If this thing and the next car aren't in the game, I'm not buying it. Because, well, okay, maybe less so the Stelvio, but Alfa Romeo's second most popular car at the moment, it needs to be added in. It needs to be added in. And this thing is almost a shoe-in. The Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio Oli. Well, it's the Giulia Quadrifoglio Oli. Anyway, as I said, pretty cool car. Enough said. This thing needs to be added in. Performance saloons are Gran Turismo's bread and butter. Right, so now moving over to tracks, we have this. Silverstone. It's not in the game. It needs to be. Okay, I don't like... It pains me to say this, but Silverstone needs to be in the game. We just need it, okay? The second one's a bit more interesting. We have Mugello. This is the track that Ferrari own. Yes, a car company owns their own... Well, actually, most car companies own their own track. Bit more abstract of a choice than people go for. They'd probably go for older tracks and like maybe even some fantasy tracks, but I think this thing would be really cool. Gran Turismo have a good relationship with Ferrari, so there you are. Now coming back to features, livery editor. It's not confirmed yet. Hopefully it will be. Enough said. You guys know my stance livery editor anyway, so yeah. Second one, I couldn't find any footage for. I do apologise, but I think it was in Gran Turismo 5, and it was the rear wing editor, where basically you can change the height and the length of your rear wing, which is actually kind of cool. Now, for some cars, obviously this wouldn't work, but, you know, it would be really cool, and if they did it back in the old generations, I don't know why they wouldn't be able to do it in this generation, so... It would be really cool to have it back, obviously, because, I mean, then, like, different downforce levels and everything, it would just be so cool. But yeah, that is the end of the video, guys. So, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you want to see in Gran Turismo 7. Any particular cars, any particular tracks, from either old games or cars that have just been released. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. We will be back tomorrow with another FIFA 20 video, because you guys have been really asking for them. So we are going to come back. We're going to do a few different things. Actually, really quickly, can you... I'm not going to ask you to do it now, but in the future, very soon, I'm going to make a video that I want you guys to be part of. So just I can't really say it just yet, but here's a little bit of a hint for you guys. Make sure your team for FIFA 20 or older FIFAs are to hand and are pretty good. That's all I'm going to say. But thank you so much guys for watching. We will see you later for tomorrow's episode. Goodbye.